Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to Vaginal Fantasy Time. This is a book club where we read romance books of the genre orientation kind, and with my awesome co-hosts. Yeah. I'm going to introduce them because,
Are we doing this? Are we all doing this accent now?
yeah, we have to do an accent the whole time because it's a Western. This month's book was a Western.
It's the Great Plains, though. They don't have that kind of accent.
Oh, you're right.
I'm
Okay, fine.
I am from there. I am a Great Plains baby. Well, not baby anymore, but I'm
I know you
from
were
there.
a Great Plainsy.
I'm from Kansas. So those that want to steal my identity are halfway there.
What? Okay, anyway, well, these are my co-hosts who are awesome, and we get together every month and we discuss a book of our choosing, and if you want to check out more, you can go to goodreads.com/vaginalfantasy, and here are my co-hosts, Veronica Belmont.
Howdy, y'all. I got my little pony back here. Well, I'm not even drinking tonight, so this is going to be super fun for me, I'm sure. Yeah, here I am. Got a hat on. It's kind of Western. It's the best I could do on short notice. I'm sorry.
It's like Palm Beach Western.
There we go.
I feel like it's
I'm
more
going
like,
to Coachella. I'm going to
more
Coachella.
like, yeah, it's like Coachella, Dora the Explorer kind of hat.
Yes. Okay, I'm Dora.
There you go.
Adorable.
See.
It's adorable.
Let's go explore.
Yeah.
Hola.
Let's
And
go
my
explore a vagina. I don't know. Whatever.
My other co-hosts are Bonnie Burton, who you've seen.
Why, hello there. I am drinking a giant glass of wine. Is this the giant one that's as big as my head?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know. I have them in, there's a bigger one. By the way, I bought an even bigger one.
How is there a bigger one? That one holds a whole bottle, isn't it?
This one holds a whole bottle. The other one holds 2 bottles.
So
But-
that other one's the bigger one.
That other one, yeah, the 2-bottle one's a cry for help. The 2-bottle one is the one, you know when you see that Amy Schumer gif that I keep, like, putting out there of her drinking the giant glass, I have that.
The Friday Night Lights skit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
have that.
That's what I'm going to do when you introduce me. So hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wait for it. And our remaining co-host, the amazing and indubitable Kyla Caseby.
Hey, y'all. See, it's from the
I
thing.
thought you were going to have a giant glass of wine.
I don't have it. You have to drink it for me. We'll do it. So I'll go, hey, y'all, and then you go like this. Okay, ready?
Do it.
Hey, y'all.
All right.
There.
It looks like I did a blood. It's like I did a blood sacrifice. And it's like the goblet. Like this is like what elf blood looks like.
Does it really? I would totally be an elf vampire because that looks like elegant to drink and stuff.
I bet you it is. I bet elf blood. It's like unicorn blood, right? It's gold colored and kind of glittery and probably
Like ambrosia or something.
Yeah, that's why unicorns don't exist anymore. Their blood was delicious.
It's true.
Somebody in the chat said Veronica is the least convincing cowboy.
Come on, man. It's got some some leather shit up here. I don't know.
I have a real cowboy hat, but it's
I have
also
a flask somewhere. That's good, right?
yeah.
I have a giraffe. That's as close as I could get to a horse.
I have a hat my dad gave me that because he's obsessed with REI, and I hate everything he gives me there, except this hat is the best hat I've ever had. You can crush it, but it still looks good, and it really is like...
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, right?
It's good.
I
It's good.
feel like that. I feel like I've seen that in a Duran Duran video. Wasn't that in Rio? Didn't John Taylor wear something similar?
It's very hungry like the wolf,
Probably.
maybe.
Yeah, that was a whole trilogy of videos where he wore the hat. So
Crushable hats are where it's at, though. This hat is not crushable. I do own a crushable hat, and it is key when you're traveling. You just roll them up basically, and they come out and they're perfect. It's
well,
amazing.
this hat's been crushed, but I don't know if it's crushable.
That's close.
Look, see?
Target. I got this from Target.
It's cute enough. Okay, listen, guys. Welcome, Kingdom Hearts fan. First time on the stream live. So before we get started, I always give a shout out to all the local groups in our organization. That sounds so official. Organization.
Having a shareholders meeting right now. Is that what's happening? Okay, good.
So I give a shout out because we have over like 16,000 people in the club, and a lot of them get together on their own volition in either local areas in person or on their own Google Hangouts and have their own versions of the club. And I like to give shout-outs because it invites you guys to join and just gives them some credit points. So here they are. The NoHo Cream Pies in North Hollywood met this month. our meeting this month on June 26th. Shout out. On June 7th, we are. Oh, great. We're hanging out. The Yearning Yinzers are meeting on June.
Felicia, that's now.
I know. Listen, I didn't make this list. Jackie made it. The Yearning Yinzers from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania are meeting on the 7th at the Commonplace Coffee House. On the 7th as well, the Literary Ladies of the Evening are meeting in a Google Plus hangout. They're in California. On June 6th, Only Lovers Left in the Library are meeting at a Google Plus hangout in Puerto Rico. I guess they're after us.
Ooh.
Last night, Cloudy with a Chance of Clitlet met in Seattle, Washington. Beers, Books, and Boobs met in East Lansing. Beaver Dreams alumni in real life meetup happened in Golden, British Columbia. A couple days ago, Naughty Nashvillians met in Nashville. The Vaginal Girls Book Club. Oh, that's really clever.
It is magical. Oh, wow.
The Vaginal Girls. That's cute. Met in Polk County, Florida. And on June 1st, the Wanton Wisconsinites met in San Francisco, Wisconsin. Oh, shoot, we have more. The Ladies of the Great Lakes met in Royal Oak, Michigan. The Central European Tarts met at a Google Plus hangout in Europe. Austin Reverse Cowgirls met in May 28th. Ambassadors of Smut met in Irvine at the Umami Burger. Yum.
Mm-hmm.
And the Books, Booze, and Board Games met in London, which sounds like an awesome meetup. The Venus Flytraps met in May in Dayton, Ohio. And the Vaginistas met on Google Hangout. So that's an awesome group of people, guys, all around the world. So if you guys want to join a local hangout or create your own, there's a whole local groups folder on our forum at Vaginal Fantasy, goodreads.com/Vaginal Sanity. All right, done. Let's get into our book. Any updates before we get into the book, guys?
No.
I got a job.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
So now I can afford more wine. And this lovely, spacious apartment.
Awesome.
I work at, I'm doing community development stuff for a women's mobile game company called Crowdstarted. They do a game called Covet Fashion. So it's a fun game. But anyway, it's like a real job, so I have to be a real adult and get up in the morning and like commute to Burlingame and then come home at night and like I get weekends matter now.
Wow.
Like it's like I forgot.
That's what I want.
Yeah. So anyway, I told them I was rushing home for this, and they got all excited that I do a show. So I thought I'd give it a little shout out. But yeah, it's fun. It's just it's weird having a real job again. But now I can afford wine and live in this lovely San Francisco apartment that's overpriced. So yay!
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 That's my update.
That's a good one. I caught up on Penny Dreadful, and it's really good this year, guys. Although
I need to catch up on it.
I know. I really last season almost lost me because it was a little bit slow, but this season is interesting and I'm into it. And Eva Green is amazing.
And this season has Dracula.
Yes, and it's really creepy. So that and Game of Thrones are really, really seeing my week through this week.
Man,
and
Game of Thrones is crushing it. Game of Thrones is so good. It's like so fast paced and things are happening and stuff we don't know is going to happens now.
It's like weird. It's like they had to get rid of George R. R. Martin.
Weird how that happened.
Why did they kill him? Is George?
Yes, he killed himself off.
No. He still has to prove everything.
Okay,
He's slowly drip releasing Winds of Winter, like chapter by chapter. And I think of it. We were talking on Sword and Laser today that he's just like serializing it, like he's just going to publish it chapter by chapter until the whole book's out. They're like, ta-da! I look like I'm on safari. I don't look.
No, you look really cute, Veronica. Come on.
I look like an extra from Hee Haw. If I could do this, you could do that.
Did you ever watch Hee Haw? My grandpa watched it when I was a kid, and we're from Alabama, and he would be like, "Shut, Pooch, don't talk. It's Hee Haw time."
I had the same rule in my house. It was either the Dolly Parton variety show, the Mandrell sisters, and Hee Haw. You weren't allowed to talk during those.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyla, what are you up to other than being sick?
Oh, just writing and stuff. Trying to get some stuff out for Sci-Fi Blaster Fangirls and then just taking care of a baby and
oh yeah,
that baby, come on, that baby's too cute.
I don't thank you, he's cute and I got to hang out with Felicia. We went to dinner.
I
It
was
was
in
awesome.
Portland for way too long, but it was awesome because I was for the librarian. So I'm going to be on a guest star of that in I think October or something. But
Yeah.
I got to see Kyla, and we had what kind of food we had? Like
It
Korean.
was Korean. Yeah, we went to Biwa, and it's really awesome, like Korean food, and it was delicious.
By the
And
way,
it
I'm
was really
carrying
fun.
all of Portland on my ass right now because there's way too much good food there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why do you think I haven't lost all the baby weight yet? It's just
The
impossible.
food is really good there. It's a
I'm
good
just
food
like-
city.
is
I'm
it
gonna eat
better
all
than
this-
San Francisco, Veronica? Do you think?
I wouldn't say better. I'd say it's an up and coming food scene.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, I would say it's better.
Oh, wow. Lots of
also-
food off.
Also, our rents are higher now.
Not enough. Not
I
higher
would
than
agree. I would agree with both of you. I
Mm-hmm.
think Portland food is good for like awesome down home, like stick to your ribs kind of food. But like all that this was a salmon and now it's foam in a bubble. San Francisco still does that.
They did have a lot. I had more fried chicken in 2 weeks than I haven't had in, not even kidding, like 10 years.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, I don't eat.
Did you go to the biscuit place?
Yes, I went
Yes.
to
The
Pine
one.
Street Biscuits or
Yes.
I love that
Yeah.
place. That place.
I
They
used
have,
to-
they have a good vegetarian gravy.
Yes, when I lived in my single lady apartment for a very short period of time, I lived it was right across the street from me, Pine Street Biscuits, and I would I never went in, but I always had to walk past the giant line to get to the gym.
I
But
did that line.
but everybody has fried chicken up there. Like I had fried chicken at like 5 places. There's a
That's
place called
weird.
Muscadine or Muscadine. It was the most amazing biscuits and chicken. Anyway, I don't
Did you
know.
go-
He
Did
asked
you go
what
to
the
the
hell
Cheese-
is vegetarian gravy made of? Mushrooms. It's made of mushrooms.
It is. Look, I make a really good vegan gravy. I'm not gonna lie.
too.
You put in the field roast sausage, and it is delicious. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Take
Wait,
that,
what?
commenter on the internet.
Yeah.
We have
Wait,
By
delicious
the
gravy.
way, I love that someone said, "Oh, you look tired," and so I posted that Cumberbatch Keira Knightley thing.
Yeah.
Told her she was tired on one of the press junkets for Imitation Game, and he said so eloquently, like, "How dare you say accuse one of the most beautiful women on earth of being tired?" And she's like, "Yeah, fuck you."
I know. I loved that. That was a good image.
For some reason,
I'm
trolls
a
like
Randy.
somebody did that today with me. They were like took my face and they like zoomed in under my eye. Or like
Oh,
somebody
that's
did.
why I was replying with that.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Do you think I'm insulted? I don't give a fuck whether you think I'm pretty or not, sir."
Right.
Also,
Yeah.
I was tired, and also I'm old.
But seriously, that is like the worst. Like, if you don't wear makeup, everyone thinks you're tired or dying.
Yeah.
If you wear a little bit of makeup, they're like, "Oh, you look so pretty without any makeup."
Yeah.
If you wear a little bit of makeup, if you wear too much makeup, they're like, "Why are you wearing so much makeup?
Why are you
Yeah,
trying
do
so
that.
hard?
Why are you
Yeah.
so pretty without makeup?"
Why do you have such low
Your
self-esteem?
lipstick so red, you whore. Here's the thing, it's funny because I know a lot of guys that wear makeup, but they pretend that they're not. And it's I know you're wearing concealer. I could tell. I know you're wearing guy liner. I could tell. I just hate that when they deny it.
And
It's
there's
like-
nothing wrong with it. Just wear a little. Everybody, listen. Sometimes I wear makeup on my legs because they're so pasty. I don't want to blind people. Like, it's just,
We watched Captain America: Civil War, and you know how they CGI in young Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god.
sorry, spoilers, guys, but it was creepy. That scene was creepy.
It was, but I was also like, oh my god, he was so beautiful. But then I said that to Jesse, and Jesse leans and he's like, yeah, nice guy liner. And I was like, I know. Well, that's what he did.
But here's the sad thing. Now I want to write Captain America Less Than Zero fan fiction. Because that's how he looked in Less Than Zero.
Exactly.
I'm thinking now that they're just they're doing this with old actors. I'm wondering if actors have this in their clause now that they have to have at least one movie a year that shows them during their younger times.
Oh, you don't even know. I can't name names, but there are many major stars that literally it's in their contract that they have to airbrush every frame of every single one of their movies and or music videos. They
Whoa.
take some very famous people in the music video world have their butt largened in post. Yes.
Oh,
Well, I
gotta get you drunk and talk about this.
Yeah, if you tell me it's Beyonce, my whole world is gonna collapse.
I think Beyonce is her butt is its own. I feel like she's all natural in that butt zone. I don't know. I don't
It is
think she
beautiful.
worries. I just saw her the fashion awards last night. She gave such a great speech to a bunch of fashion designers that, hey, you guys are fairy godmothers and awesome, but it's your presence that counts, not your physical beauty. Like, she basically was like, fashion's great and all, and I'm wearing this fabulous, Givenchy suit that also mimics David Bowie's awesome Stardust outfit. However, we're all awesome no matter how we look. So I was
Yeah.
I love you, Beyonce.
I love her.
Bebe. What's
I
her?
love
What's
Bey.
is it? Tay Tay and Bebe?
yeah.
Bae.
From now on, I'm going to
Bae.
cast her in every book. Segue.
Oh, segue into the book! Yay!
Okay.
This month's book was called Silver on the Road, and I will read the description as I focus it on Bonnie, who actually has a physical book. Okay. Silver on the Road by Laura Ann Gilman. On her 16th birthday, Isabel makes the choice to work for the devil in his territory west of the Mississippi. But this is not the devil you know. This is a being who deals fairly with immense but not unlimited power, who offers opportunities to people who want to make a deal and make sure they always get what they deserve. But his land is a wild west that needs a human touch, and that's where Izzy comes in. Inadvertently trained by him to see the clues in manipulation of human desire, Izzy is raised to be his left hand and travels the circuitous road through the territory. As we all know, where there is magic, there is power and chaos. And death. Okay, so I picked this book. It was recommended to me by a person I know on the internet, Gavin Purcell, who is a producer on Jimmy Fallon's show. He's awesome.
Oh, yeah. We're friends on the Twitters.
A Twitter fan. Yeah, he's a very good Twitter. He gives good tweet.
Yes.
So I picked this up, and I've been wanting to read it for like 6 months. And so I picked it for the book club, knowing that there's not enough sex in it to really satisfy a vaginal fantasy. But I kind of loosely interpreted the rules as a strong female protagonist in a genre, which was a little too stretchy for this. I will admit it was too stretchy, okay? Bonnie will make up for it next month.
Yeah, I mean, that's
That's
what I'm here for. I just picked the really smutty, scary stuff, so then you guys can't complain anymore, and you'll wish that Felicia kept picking the books.
Yeah, but I just want to pick something more substantial than we've been reading because it's nice to like break it up. And I enjoyed this book a lot. I thought it was a little slow, but once you kind of, I kind of like accepted it and just read chunks a little bit a night. I shouldn't try to read it all the way through. And when you got the pace in it, the flavor and the text, the writing is really quality. It's very evocative, and the tone of it. I enjoyed it a lot. So I will definitely be reading the next book if I can. Veronica?
I'm next. I was Snapchatting.
Why were you snapping?
I was just snapping that we were doing vaginal fantasy.
okay.
Oh, okay.
How are you
fine.
doing Snapchat and this show? That is like amazing
I
multitasking.
know,
God.
I'm amazing.
You are amazing. I
I'm a
don't even know
social
how it
media
works.
genius.
You are. I just tell people that Snapchat is just not important for your business. Periscope is where it's at.
Yeah.
Because I understand Periscope and I don't understand Snapchat.
Snapchat, I had to be taught. My friend Eileen had to teach me how to snap. But Felicia's snaps game is while not frequent enough, is always strong because she sings a lot, and it's
Thanks a lot. I need to get back to that. I kind of collapsed because last year I was trying to just pare it down, but I'm getting back. And the filters are so much fun. Like the filters are the best thing on the internet or in all tech right now. Is the Snapchat filters. Okay?
I just drink a little bit or whatever and sit on the couch and just crack myself up for like a really long time with filters. Anyway, the book. I really liked the book. I thought it was pretty great. I liked all the characters. Izzy was okay. I kept forgetting that she was 16. Like, she didn't feel 16 to me. In the beginning of the book, she did. And in some of her moments where she was a little bit unsure of herself, she definitely felt on the young side. But in my brain the whole time, she was like 22. You know, that's just where she kind of was. And we didn't really get to hear much about, what was his name? What's the dude's name? The writer?
Oh, what's his name? Gabriel, yeah, Gabriel.
I liked Gabriel a lot, and I felt like towards the end of the book we got less of him, and I think that was because Isabel's like storyline was kind of crescendoing, and we were like figuring out what her whole deal was, even though there's still a lot more to learn. But there were so many secrets about him that we didn't really like, that the wizard kept talking about, but we didn't really hear from him what was going on there. So that left me wanting more, and it was a pretty fast read too. So I feel like I could read the next one and kind of burn through it pretty pretty fast. I thought the world building was cool. I liked envisioning like where the boundaries were kind of laid out by, the West with the Spanish and the middle, the territory, and then the USA to the east, and like what their whole deal was. So I thought it was cool that like everything kind of lived under the devil's hand, while they were in the territory, and that magic existed there in that sense, or whatever they considered magic being. But yeah, I found it. The only thing that kind of bugged me was like suddenly she made the bargain with the devil, with the boss, and suddenly she has this power, but it felt like she already knew who the right hand was, and then she became the left hand. I feel like, wouldn't there already have been a left hand? Like, was there someone that she took the place of? Like, it seemed like kind of a big role to like fill in all of a sudden and like not know anything about.
Yeah, I thought there was a left hand before, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Who was it?
I don't know though. It's not like there's a devil LinkedIn, right? So you can't like do a search to see who she's replacing. Like that's the thing. If I was her, I'd be like, well, what happened to the person I'm replacing? Because that seems like a job that you don't retire from. That's like a job that you die. That's how you retire from this job. So I don't, or not die.
If you die, maybe you never die.
Or maybe relocate. I guess you get relocated. You don't die, you relocate to Miami or something. But but I agree, that was a little weird because I was like, wouldn't the whole thing be off balance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like someone in the chat room saying like maybe they needed the left hand now because of the new evil that had been unleashed in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe the devil guy was doing both jobs.
Maybe.
And he was grooming her the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he basically bought her from a native tribe, right? Or
from her parents.
Their parents that came in from the Spanish territory, they think, which is why her name is
Isabel.
like Isabel.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't take care of her because the Indians came and like threatened her.
They were gonna take her as a baby. They were like, you could stay here on this land. It's fine.
Get your baby.
But we get to take your baby and do whatever we want with it.
And then they were like, no, we'd rather give her to the devil.
Yeah, I know. I was a little confused by that. So I was like, were they?
And then they left anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
So then I was like, what? So I'm assuming that the Indians were gonna kill her, or the Native Americans. I'm not sure what the proper term was in this book, not in culture. And so
They said natives. I think they said natives.
Natives.
Okay, so I'm assuming they were just gonna kill her, like as sort of sacrifice or something. And so they were like, no way, that's happening. So then they were like, here, please take care of, like in Les Mis, like please take care of my baby.
Gianna says that you mentioned a couple times that there's not been a left hand for quite some time.
Okay, good. Thank you. But the right hand was the woman who basically just oversaw the territory from the inn, and Isabel, being the left hand, was just sent outwards to cover everything outside that town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the boss could get up and go if he wanted to. Like, why did he have to send someone else out there? Like, he seemed pretty mobile. He'd gone out before to deal with the problems in the silver mines.
Maybe
that was weird. That was weird
power.
because it seemed like he was kind of like stuck at the inn, and when they had the reveal that he'd been out to deal with things, I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I thought kind of that's what the left hand did, to go and solve problems outside the town.
See, that's why I'm thinking maybe he'd been doing both jobs, and then and he was just waiting for the right person.
Maybe it's all about outsourcing. Right?
Yeah.
He's probably doing too many jobs, and that's where she came in. So
maybe he's like a control freak, and he's just like, no one can do it right. I'm the only one who can do it. Jesus.
Just let me.
I'll do it myself.
I love putting like a romance book and with like really intricate world building into like a LinkedIn article. Like how to deal with a difficult boss. How to deal with someone who's like a total control freak that won't like outsource and won't delegate. Like I feel like
how to deal with a boss who micromanages and is a narcissist.
Like to me, this didn't feel like a story with a devil in it. It felt like a story with a regional manager.
Well, no, people came from so the lore was set up that the inn where Isabel was raised and all the other women, because there were like prostitutes there and wenches and all that stuff. Basically, people came to the inn to barter, to gamble their life or their soul against the devil to get their greatest wish, right? So there was a lot of stuff going down in that inn as far as people coming. You know, like he would be the boss. Hey, what do you do when your boss wants to take your soul? That would be the LinkedIn.
I like how you said that as a question.
That's the Quora posting.
Oh God.
Again, you just listed another LinkedIn article I'm pretty sure I read last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your boss wants to take your soul.
What do you do when your boss wants to steal your soul?
Bonnie, what are your overall thoughts? Because we haven't gone on. I'm sorry, didn't go down the line.
That's okay. I'm being really bad. I agree with you that it was sort of slow pacing. Like I kind of expected to be a bit faster, but again, I didn't read it all the way through. I took it in like chapters instead of just trying to flash read it, which I usually do with our books. Coming from the Midwest. Oh my God, is Kylo okay?
Kylo's dying.
Down.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I need a pillow to cough into.
All of a sudden you started coughing and you weren't there, and it was crap.
I'm sorry, I was trying to make it quiet. I need a pillow.
You can also hit the mute button at the top of the
okay.
page.
I'm gonna have that ready.
I feel like this was like a Zika option of our show.
We have the technology.
Okay, sorry.
No, you can cough. I feel like if we're doing a romance show, one of us has to have consumption.
Yeah.
I already did. I already have
Veronica's already
consumption.
had it.
She had it. Veronica always has it. It's always.
It's in her. She carries it. She's a
How quickly
carrier.
we forget. How quickly we forget.
If this was, I swear, if this was Little Women, you'd be dead like so many different times.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'd be Joe, and I'd cut off my hair, and they'd be like, "Oh, you cut off your
No,
own
you
true
can't be
beauty."
Joe because you're too pretty. You're too pretty. I'd be Joe because I'm like.
You're Amy, Kyla. You're Amy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. You can't be Joe. Joe is the secret lesbian. I'm Joe. Sorry.
I'd be Amy. Thank you.
Wait, who's Beth then? Is it me or Veronica?
Oh shit. I don't know. That's a toss up. Well, who's the sister that dies? That's gotta be Veronica.
Beth dies, and Meg
Beth
is the
dies.
older one. Meg is the mom kind of one.
Veronica, you're biting it. You're Beth.
It's okay.
That's okay. You get to die with your dignity, where the rest of us have to
Do I?
wait.
And you make us
Do I
all cry,
really?
and we all cry.
You make us human again.
Rampy says I'm Marmee, so I don't know what's going on.
So,
Marmie's good. She's the.
I know, that's a good character.
Yeah, she's a really
didn't
good one.
Christian Bell meet his wife on the set of Little Women? She was like an assistant. Anyway.
Who? What? Who?
Yes, Christian Bale. Yeah,
He met his.
Christian.
He has a. Hold on. He has a wife.
Yeah, so Christian Bale met his wife.
I'm out of here. I'm flipping fuck everything.
And he married, I think it was like Winona Ryder's assistant.
Wow.
It was something weird. Anyway, I'm digressing. So the point of the story is I really liked
There's a point.
it. It was cool to see like this genre because we've done a Western before. What was the Western that we read before?
Oh, we did Native Star by J.K. Hobson, and that is an awesome book, and it has a lot more romance in it. So if you want another Western book in this ilk, check out Native Star.
Yes,
And
and so
silver
I was
linings.
excited that we had another Western. I was excited it was a female protagonist, and I was excited about kind of like that. It's a not retelling, but like a restructured Devil at the Crossroads kind of story. And that it was in the Midwest, which we don't get a lot of, right? Because no one thinks of the Midwest as like a sexy place to put a story. So to me, it was interesting. And I'm from the Midwest. So for me, it was an interesting world building and a fun story. But I liked it. I liked the story. Even though it had minimal sexy times and there was no werewolf. Was there? There was no werewolf, right?
No, there was a giant otter.
Okay,
That was the best. I was like, it took me, like, I did not know what that animal was.
I thought
until
I
the
didn't know
last...
if there, like, it was an otter? Okay. I didn't know if it was, like...
No, they straight up said it was an otter in the book. Like,
Yeah.
Gabriel's like, that otter sure beat me up, beat the shit out of me.
Skinwalker. Like, maybe we would get some Skinwalker lore in there, because we're dealing with Native Americans, and sometimes they pop that in, but we got a giant otter instead.
Yeah, I thought whenever I see an otter, I'm like, you can't have a murderous otter. That otter's like he's cracking a conch shell on his tummy and holding hands with another otter. Like Otters don't attack,
They're the
okay?
cutest.
Yes, they do.
Oh my
Hold
God,
on,
They
I
rape baby seals.
You realize, Felicia, that you've just
Wait.
started a brand new genre of like serial killing otters.
But did you hear me? Maybe my microphone needs to be closer. They rape baby seals.
Ew, what?
I like that you got up super close. Say it again.
No, Explore.org
Okay, first of
even
all-
told me they rape baby seals.
Oh my God, Kyla.
Do you know how much dolphins rape? Dolphins rape everything.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
they're
not making
horrible.
apologies for the otters. I'm just saying that if you want to talk about a rapey animal,
Yeah, are you
dolphins.
Obviously,
you're an otter apologist?
said
minute.
about
Look,
mammals.
how can you be mad at this? How
There's
can you be mad at this?
there's something to said about mammals who are good swimmers that happen to be rapists. Topical.
Oh wow, that was timely.
Bring it down.
That was good, Bonnie. That was
Okay, here's the thing.
otter approves.
I've been binge watching Law and Order SVU. I follow the writers' room of Law and Order SVU. I'm like addicted to that show, and I'm like stalking all the actors and stalking. This season, by the way, is great. So if you haven't caught up to season 17 or whatever, it's pretty amazing.
That would literally be like, I'm going to spend the next 5 years catching up on Law and Order. Like, that would be 5 years of your life.
I did it. I actually I've been binge watching SVU for the last 3 weeks, like nonstop, and I will say it makes you a bit paranoid. So I will say that you start thinking everyone's a rapist after a while, but watching that and then like hearing this news about the swimmer guy who's like got 6 months because they're worried jail might be too harsh on him because, you know.
Horrible. Guys, if you've ever read that BuzzFeed article on the woman who was assaulted by this guy, you should definitely read it. It's abhorrent and it'll make you angry, but also her voice should be heard more. Also, Sean Sandalakalak said that ducks are necrophiliacs, so everyone's ruining all animals.
what?
All animals are terrible.
Wait, what? Otters are necrophiliacs?
No,
Which
ducks.
Ducks.
And pigs eat their own.
Well, ducks, I don't know. I feel like ducks get a freebie because they go through a lot.
Hey guys, how about don't Google dolphins raping women, chat room? How about we don't do that? Let's not Google that.
If you really care about dolphin rape that much, there's actually a really funny Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode about that. And a Simpsons episode. And a Family Guy episode. So you can get your humor that way. We don't need to see it.
The Tamarian says, nothing ruins more things, food, cute animals, etc., than vaginal fantasy.
Oh!
I know. I still feel bad about ruining swordfish for everybody.
I know. Not about ruining figs. Wasps.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wasp eggs. Kyla, what did you think about this book? We're going to get through all of this.
Okay. I really liked it. It felt like a really good YA book, actually. And this is the first time in a really long time I've read a book where I kept referring back to the map, which I really like. It made me feel young again. Young and innocent.
When you were in your youth, when you were serious about geography.
Yeah. No, but just serious about like fantasy and stuff, and I'd be like, that is where that is, and then Dorn is over here. And
I am with Kyla on this. Like nothing makes a book more fun than a map in front of the book.
Yeah.
Because as you're reading, you kind of get to follow. I mean, I'm like
you
this.
go back and you're like, wait, so they went through that, and then they. Okay,
I love that. I love that.
That's where the Iron Islands are, and then.
It felt like a really sexy Oregon Trail.
Yeah. So, anyways, I like that, but I'm simultaneously I'm watching The Preacher, and I'm only halfway through the second episode, so no spoilers. But I did read the comic.
I only watched the pilot. I need to watch the second one.
It's so good.
I don't know if I love that lead guy, though. Am I just in the minority?
Well, he's not as good as the vampire. I'll tell you that.
Do you guys think it's following the comics pretty faithfully? Because I've read all the comics. So
it is so far, and it makes me so proud of Seth Rogen for producing and like being such a huge fan of Preacher, and then like really sticking to it.
Good, because I'm a fan of the comic, but I haven't watched the show yet because I've been afraid. Because I had the same problem with Constantine, but I really
I know. No, this is
honestly, I love Lucifer, so I like that TV show. So I was worried about it. So thank you.
No, it's great. It's great. You should really. They're sticking to it. It's great.
Okay.
Anyways, it's kind of like feeling very similar. Plus, then you squishing the stand, and then this. So it's like the YA preacher stand. This
And Westward or
and,
Westworld.
Yeah, or Westworld. Yes, exactly. So I really like that obviously they're setting up Gabriel to be, well, maybe a love interest, but obviously some kind of is he Gabriel? Is he an archangel? Is that the deal? Is but a different kind of archangel in the same way that the other guy, and I can't remember his name, who was the devil. Is that going to be? I like the way they're turning it on its head. Like, he's a devil, but he's not a bad guy. It's. I really, really enjoyed that, and I didn't mind. At first, I was like, why couldn't she have come? Why didn't her indenture end at? I know I just said that wrong, but whatever. End at 18. Why not? But I guess they're just giving it time because there was no sexy time, so it was fine. Because that would have been really creepy between her and the devil guy.
Okay.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
I really, really liked it. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I want to read the next one.
So Coffee Girl 0700 wrote in the chat, ducks have 7 tubes in their vag. And so I searched duck 7-tube vag, and then I got this IO9 article that's one of the most traumatic things I've ever read about ducks are known for their bizarre penises, stretching up to 20 centimeters in size in an anti-clockwise spiral.
Wait,
The
I feel like pigs have that too, right? Pigs have the corkscrew thing going on.
I don't know, but their bodies are only 60 centimeters long. That's like having a penis as long as your leg.
So here's the thing: if your penis is a corkscrew, do they have to spin, or do they spin who they're having sex with?
Well, the females have vaginas that spiral clockwise opposite to men. So basically, when they have non-consensual sex with the female, this is awful.
Non-consensual. I don't think animals understand the idea between consensual and non-consensual, do they?
We
really do?
Because they don't like things. How when you pick up your cat and he doesn't like being picked up, it's like,
yeah, but cats eat everything.
They court each other. Some animals court each other.
Yeah, some animals mate for life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like there's wolves and crows court. I don't know. I've taken my dog to the dog park many a time where people are like, hey, female. And I'm like, no, she's old and she's fixed. She's like me. There's no... If she's having sex, you better buy her a steak first. That's usually what I say to the other dogs.
Yeah, Bodega does not put up with it. She does not put up with the untoward advances.
My dog's too old. My dog's more the Betty White. No, she's more of the B. Arthur of the Golden Girl dogs. She's not necessarily the sexy times one.
Mm.
Yeah.
The forum. Here's some general comments from the forum. Sandra said, "I'm sorry, the book was way too slow. Very interesting premise, and I wish the devil had been more involved."
Again, this sounds like a job performance review. I'm just saying. But by the way, I do want to say that the devil wasn't very as devilly as I hoped. I was expecting more of a Crowley. I think Shepard has ruined the devil for all of us because
we had a couple of people compare.
I thought you meant my son.
Yeah, pretty sure Mark Shepard, that actor is now ruined. Not ruined. He set the bar really high for the devil. So if any of us meet the devil in the real life, we're gonna be like, you're not very convincing.
I think the most thing that people said was that the slow pace was a problem for them, which I totally get. When I was reading it, I was like, this is a much different pace book from what we usually read, which is, basically you read it in one night. Also having no chapters, which I was annoyed with too because I never knew how to stop. I was like, are we stopping yet? So those are the two, I guess, negative things I could say about it. But a lot of people really, really enjoyed the world building, which I think. And you guys, let's talk a little bit about the world building, which was.
Wait a minute. What do you mean there was no chapters? Just chapters? There's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
No.
Yeah, I think you guys are all reading Kindle. See this? Part 4.
Oh my God! There were parts maybe.
Yeah, there were parts in the book in the Kindle version.
Are there? Okay, because
they're not chapters. It goes on forever.
Yeah, it was They were definitely parts. They were not chapter length.
Okay.
Mm.
Sorry, I got excited that something happened because I had the hard copy and you didn't. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, excuse
you're
me.
always special anyway.
No, I'm
What did you?
overflowing with books. Like, by the way, I'm starting to like lose apartment space, so I get it.
You need to take them and sell them or something. Donate them to some people who need like erotic fiction.
Yeah, I'll just give it to the homeless guy in the corner. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
I once accidentally donated some hentai nurse porn to the Goodwill, and the 80-year-old guy was like, "Can I take this?" And I was like, "Please."
Oh my God.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
When we moved back from LA, when we were there for like 7 seconds, when we had to sell everything, and I had to sell all of my books, but they all went to the kid that was the bad guy in the first Purge movie.
What?
Yeah. He has all of my books.
That's amazing. That's
I
so
love
weird.
that story so much. This is so awesome.
I mean, I'm too scared to see those movies, but that's
Really
funny. It's a
nice.
funny story.
I won't see that either. I'll just expect somebody to come and smack me on the street in the face. What did you guys think about the world building? I enjoyed it a lot. I felt like maybe I wanted more detail by the end because the magician character I really enjoyed, but there wasn't I wanted a little bit more detail in the way that his magic works. And then by the time we got to the giant otter in a pond, I was kind of confused.
Yes. And what was with him? He got totally like murdered by this demon, and then he's just like, "I'm back." Like, what?
I
You got
know,
your
right?
guts ripped out. Like, how did that happen?
It felt like the worst. This felt like a lost chapter of like Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Like, it was like
No, don't ruin that for me.
No, I'm not. That's a great movie, but also it's very sad and tragic, and there's some scary character. Oh, hi, Sophie. Yeah, I mentioned Emmett Otter, and she's all over it. But yeah, it's like that. It felt weird. Like I agree with that. Like I wanted more magic explained or more something. Like I felt a little lost in that. Maybe we're spoiled by world magic building from other
Well,
books.
it was interesting that it was a slow burn, so that you didn't have like people. It was very grounded in reality, and so it was very subtle when somebody would mention something magical or something that was you're almost like, oh, because you kind of put yourself very in a grounded area and think, oh, I'm in a regular Western, which I think was kind of refreshing in that you usually are overwhelmed with people being able to do magical crazy things and like solve every problem with just like a zap of the finger. So I kind of like that as well, but that's kind of what I wanted more of, and I guess that's what'll keep me reading the next one because I want to know more about like what's going on in the desert.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
more like a magical lonesome dove. Or a magical justified. It depends, like what I don't know what our viewers are into. Like if you're
Neither
super
of those.
old, if you're super old like me, you remember Lonesome Dove or Tombstone.
I'm gonna go with Justified, and then now I'm picturing Timothy Oliphant as everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, he makes a really great cowboy. I mean, truth be told, him.
All drink away.
It's like between him and like Brad Pitt with The River Runs Through It or whatever, and then also Tom. I mean, we're getting into casting moments, but I'm just saying, it's hard to think of like westerns in a magical sense. So I'm glad that we read this because I'm so used to magic in either an urban city setting, or if it's going to be in the past, it's always like a corset British Scottish thing, right? Or it's on another planet. It's never in It's never in the Midwest. It's never in the Great Plains.
What about the Daniel Craig one with and Harrison Ford with the
Yeah,
Mars
the
with the
Cowboys
alien?
versus Aliens was like, that movie's horrible, but the comics are great.
How you thought that was good? The comics of Cowboys versus Aliens.
The comics are great. I mean,
No, the movie's not.
truth be told, I could watch Harrison Ford and James Bond, dude.
Daniel Craig. I could just watch it. I don't care what
I
they
could
do.
just watch them do anything. Like they could be.
I like it, like Dinner with Andre. Like I would watch that if it was
I
them.
could watch those two guys like shop at IKEA for hours, and
Yes, and fight with each other. Obviously.
Yeah. I would be okay with that. So I wasn't as judgmental as other people that really love the comic. But you don't see a lot of magical world building in a Western.
Well,
So-
also you don't see like 1920s or like World War II magic either. You know, I mean, I think there's a lot more eras people could But
Yeah.
you're right. Rather than like late 19th century and modern day and
Wait, what about the 19 the ones the woman who wrote To Say Nothing of the Dog?
Connie Willis. Oh
yes.
yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
What era is that?
That was World War II. What was it called?
Okay.
Daybreakers or something? Wait, I'm gonna look it up.
Well, there's To Say Nothing of the Dog, but the next one was called something else because To Say Nothing of the Dog was the they went back to the plague, but
here's the
other
thing.
one was one where they went back to World War II.
The genre of westerns is. I mean, I read my first novel because my grandfather was a huge Louis L'Amour fan. So I remember reading Louis L'Amour, which are these huge books. They're like these thick, huge tomes, right? And I would read these country western sagas and just be enthralled with the world building because it's historical fiction, so a lot of it's very accurate. And so I was really interested in books because of my granddad reading these westerns. But the fact now that we can read stuff from like when we first got, for me, when I first got interested in reading books, especially fiction, and then I get to throw magic into the mix, it's even more awesome. So for me, I was like really excited to read this book and get like really into it because I know as corny as this sounds, I kind of felt like a connection to my granddad for a little bit. I'm so glad this book wasn't smutty because then that would have been a really weird connection to my granddad.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I like kind of got to rediscover that, genre, which is something I don't normally read country.
Well, they have some, I tried to find a modern Western kind of cowboy. Like, there's a lot of Harlequin type, hey, I'm going to go move to Nebraska. I'm a city girl. I moved to Nebraska, and I'm going to date a cowboy. There are a lot of those, but there's none with, like, genre stuff in there.
What's interesting is that there's a lot of, I have this book called, now don't judge me, it's called Hereditary Witchcraft. What it is it talks about American.
Not what I was expecting.
It's okay. It talks about American. Did you think I was going to talk about? You thought I was going to say Cthulhu porn again.
I have no idea. So
it talks about like witchcraft and hex symbols, and then the whole Amish hex signs. Do you know about that whole thing? Like on their barns, they have these circle hex. It's to get rid of the evil eye and good luck and for good crops. That's all based in paganism. So for me, like trying to find a book genre that deals with magic, that deals with the Great Plains, that also deals with like kind of frontier magic. So I have a history book on frontier magic. So I actually read that while I was reading this book to see if it linked up at all, because it's interesting. Because also Native American, they have mysticism very like entrenched in their culture as well. So it's interesting to see that crossover.
Sorry. Toronto Gal's banning people in the chat. We got some ban hammer going on. Go Toronto Gal. So what do you guys? Let's go over the characters a little bit. What did you think of Isabel as a character in general? Did you? I mean, I think somebody said she didn't feel. Veronica, you said she didn't feel very young. You know what? One thing that bothered me about her is that she would basically, along the way with Gabriel, which I loved their relationship, but along the way she would think, oh, I kind of want to do this bad thing, and then she would talk her way out of it. So she felt kind of passive in that she was way too smart. Did anybody ever have that problem with her?
Yeah, I felt like she wasn't making the usual mistakes we have with heroines that we read, right? Because most of our previous books, it's like they learned by doing it, and then they learned from that experience, as opposed to being so smart that they talk themselves logically out of doing stupid crap. So
I just never really knew when it was her being smart versus when it was like the boss like speaking through her or like doing magic through her. Because like I feel like sometimes he was kind of pulling the strings, and I worry that maybe some of her most powerful moments were really just him the whole time. But I like to think that she kind of learned throughout the experience. Like I think she was definitely becoming more mature in the process of being on the road and learning the regular stuff. But sometimes, I was concerned that maybe she wasn't the one doing all the smart things.
I mean, would you want to have an all-powerful being be able to just take over and speak through your mouth at any point?
Yes.
That'd be real irritating.
Yes. Well, if I have the option of controlling it.
Well, she doesn't.
Like I talk to my dad every Sunday on the phone, and sometimes I put my foot in it. Like it would be so great if I could just say something, like have like a devil or God like character talk for me for 20 minutes about Trump, in a positive way.
Okay.
That's what the devil would do.
But she didn't have power over it though. It just kind of happened in like
true.
times of need.
That's true. Yeah, she didn't have power over it. If you have power over it, it would be a useful tool. But if you don't have power over it, it's kind of unfortunate because then when does that happen? Like, you don't want a God talking through you when you're using Tinder.
Hi, Sophie.
Sophie. Well, a lot of people in the
my dog is like face center, and then your dog Veronica, all I see are feet.
There you go.
yeah.
She's passed out.
A lot of people in the chat are saying that, and making the good point that at 16, even in that time, you would probably be married and maybe have a kid at that point.
Yeah.
Also, I read this great book that's completely off tangent called The Four Queens. It's about these 4 sisters who became 4 queens in the 13th century. And, like, they were all married at, like, 11 and 12. Like, literally not just married, but, like, intercoursing and having children at, like, 13.
Isn't that because, like, the death rate is, like, at, what, 27? So it's like everything's relative. I think that's why, right?
But it's probably a good point saying that a 16-year-old would be a lot more mature than and like there weren't going to be like a 16-year-old now. Like 16-year-old now are not like very much. I don't know. I don't want to generalize. I'm sure there's some awesome 16-year-olds.
I don't think it's going to be like Little House on the Prairie, or at a certain age they're like super immature. I feel like you have to be mature to be in that era at that time, and also in that landscape. Like there's no I'm not going to be judgmental on millennials because that's like too easy a target, but I feel like nowadays people don't really have the same trials and tribulations that they have like when it was like the United States was just starting, right?
Well, no, people would die. They could get a cold and just die. They would be murdered. I mean, there's a lot riskier to live.
Stuff.
There was a lot of stuff going on, and also you could die easily from diseases, right? So
yeah. So that's what she said. You get a cold and you're dead.
Yeah.
Like Kyla would be dead right now.
I would have died. I would have died of a UTI years and years and years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. But also, like they were, like maybe they were all like, Leanna Mormont. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No spoilers. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think about Gabriel? Because I thought his character was so interesting. And I feel like he has secrets that we're going to uncover in the second book. I don't know. It just felt very mysterious about how they were kind of stringing out the fact, why did he come to the devil in the first place? What did he bargain to take with the devil to take Isabel under his wing?
Right.
Like, they were alluding to the fact that he maybe couldn't leave the territory, but I wasn't quite sure.
But he had been to America already. Yeah, this is kind of what I brushed on when we first started talking about opinions. But yeah, we don't really know what happened. We don't know, he went to school in America. He's, obviously speaks a lot of languages, but there's something going on with him, and we don't know what it is yet. But that's obviously
I
the
think he's got some kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Kyla, what'd you say?
I think he has absolutely some kind of divine power or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's an angel. Maybe he's Gabriel after all.
That's what I said. I think maybe he's
I was wondering
kind of archangel.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to bring, because anytime you do any fiction with the devil, there's got to be some angel in the wings. Sorry.
But Gabriel is a warrior.
Someone laugh at that, please.
Okay.
Laugh at that. Enable me, Kyla.
But Gabriel, it was funny. But Gabriel is an archangel. He's a warrior angel. So that's pretty cool.
That makes sense.
He's the one with the flaming sword.
Yeah. Well, Gabriel's also the messenger, so he's the one that like brings the messages to the pregnant virgins and whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Did anybody a lot of people in the forum were like, oh well, there's no romance, but I'd like to see that happen. Am I creepy that I wanted to see Isabel romance the crazy insane mage?
No, I totally
No.
Oh, he was so old. Gross.
No, but was he old?
Was he really?
Was he old?
I thought he was like kind of like what's the guy who plays Vision in Avengers? Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany old.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I pictured him much older. Weird.
He was like sort of old. Not so, oh my God, Sophie, whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't like old like
I'm a left out.
Old. He wasn't like Gandalf old, right?
Okay.
I don't think so. I thought he was young. Guys, can you correct me in the chat? Because Gabriel, everybody was like shocked that he was in his 40s because you kind of picture him in his 30s, at least.
Wait, is 40s old?
Yeah, shut up.
No, it's not old. It's just older than he read on the page. You kind of
Right,
felt like
and-
he had kind of like maybe gone to college or training and then gone off to Washington and then was forced to come back. And so you kind of figured, oh, he's in his like early 30s or something.
Yeah.
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 Oh my
But yeah.
God. You don't think 40 is old, do you, Felicia?
No.
No, that's not what she meant.
No, I meant that he was. Oh, God.
He may be eternal, you know, like how I am immortal and yet I am
Right.
42.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, we always have this problem in vampire fiction, right? When you realize the vampire is probably like 800, like Yoda years, like 900, 800 years old. But then they're like into young girls, like teenagers in high school, or it's like that whole like weird out like Doctor Who issues. Like Doctor Who,
Wow.
like he's a super old Time Lord, and he's like totally like scamming on Rose, who's in her 20s. Like is that a weird statutory rape issue, or do you just kind of let it go in fiction because you can't think of all your favorite heroes being rapists?
That's a Stephen Moffat issue.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Sorry. I don't know why you're bringing this conversation down. I am.
You're not?
No, you're not. You're bringing it around to all.
No, I'm looking at Twitter. People are mad at me because I keep bringing up rape as like a thing, and I'm sorry. It's just I didn't mean it that way.
It's funny that we're bringing that up when this is literally
really
a book
hot
with zero romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a hot button issue right now.
Sorry.
Did you guys? Oh, one thing we haven't talked about are the friars, which I thought was really when they came in, I was like, oh, interesting, because basically Isabel and Gabriel run into this group of monks who are fighting. What were they fighting at the time? It was something, and they came in and like
Yeah, one of those demons.
yeah,
Like
and they
wind.
bailed them out, and they were assholes the whole time. But then they became kind of really interesting characters, and one of them, you know, like, what did you guys think of that storyline in sort of the looming, maybe bigger issues that are going to come out in later books with the church and the outside encroaching upon the territory?
Well, I couldn't stop myself from constantly thinking, you know, and when they came to the crosses, and there was a demon in his frumpy tail. I couldn't stop thinking of Tenacious D. I'm sorry.
I like you went from Friar to Jack Black pretty quickly.
I hear this like there was a pirate demon.
I mean, that's the devil went down to Georgia. So.
No,
Friar, like when I
Tenacious
think
D.
Friar, I think like Christian Slater in Name of the Rose. I don't go quite the Jack Black route. I go young Christian Slater route. So.
Well, they wrote it's the greatest song in the world.
We're having a lot of people banned tonight. I guess maybe we're the only individuals still using Google Hangout as a public
Yeah,
thing.
YouTube Live or something. Yeah.
I don't know. Is it like
Nobody left.
old timey? Is Google Hangout already considered old timey?
I feel like nobody uses it anymore.
Yeah. We have to figure out a way to use Twitch or something.
Here's the thing. Like, I feel like we're trendsetters, even though we're still using something that's considered outdated. Google uses us as an example of why Google Hangout's still cool. So I kind of feel like, in a way,
We're the last women standing.
Right. That's
I feel
only us.
hey, like I was around at the beginning of the internet, and I remember when GIF Builder was like, we would make little construction site things of guys like, oh, the website's not ready, here's a construction site guy shoveling, and that was an animated GIF, and now it's come full circle, and now animated GIFs are cool again. So I feel like if we keep at it, Google Hangout will be cool again, and like.
Okay, we're gonna cling to this, guys, until the until the raft sinks. Okay, let's do some casting because that day. I immediately wanted Viggo Mortensen somewhere in this, like either the devil or Gabriel.
Yeah.
That's my vote for number one casting.
Okay.
Anybody have any other like Gabriel/devil casting they want to throw out?
Devil for me is always going to be. It's always. Well, here's the thing. Like, I have a hard time between Mark Shepard from Supernatural as Crowley, right? But then I also have a soft spot for Tom Meissen. Is it Tom Meissen? No, Tom Meissen is Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow guy. Yeah, I don't see him as being in the Old West.
Lucifer. I'm a little drunk, so I can't remember all my British actors all at once. So it's the guy that's playing Lucifer on the Lucifer show. He's like the sexy devil, right? But as you know, Lucifer and the devil are two different beings. You know that, right?
Right.
Yes.
Lucifer was an angel, and it's different.
So I don't know. So I'm thinking Crowley for that. And then for Gabriel, I don't know.
We had some really good ones on the forum.
Wait, let me do. I have one.
I have some too.
Let's hear our own before we jump into the
Okay,
fans.
Veronica,
We
go.
can copy
Veronica,
them.
go. Yeah.
Stay with me here. For the devil, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh my God.
The Rock?
Of course you just picked The Rock.
Oh my God, is this the first time we've had The Rock in casting?
I don't
Why? He's so good. Why haven't we chosen him
Because he
before?
would have that smile. He would somehow quirk his eyebrow.
I'm on board. I'm on the Rock train. I am. Here's the thing: the sexiest thing I've ever seen The Rock do was on Lip Sync Battle when he sang.
That was really good. Shake It Off. That was really
by
good.
Taylor Swift. That to me made me a Rock.
Oh my God, I have to watch that. I haven't seen that. That's
What?
amazing.
On YouTube.
He's
So
my favorite.
good.
Okay,
So
all right.
good.
That's the only one I
Okay.
have. That's the only casting I had. So that's
Did
it.
anybody read Doc Savage when they were a kid? Because I read all of them.
Yeah.
The Rock as Doc Savage is like the most excited I've ever been for a movie. Whenever they make it in 8 years, I'm so excited.
Well, actually, the most excited thing I am is Gillian Anderson in American Gods.
That's
Oh, I
pretty
know.
great too.
I read
Oh
that
yeah,
and
his
then I had
media.
Yeah, late feelings.
Yeah, I'm excited. So like, who would you guys have for Gabriel then?
Wait,
Well,
Kyla's got to
Kyla
do hers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's my little hands. I have tiny hands. I have tiny shrimp hands. Okay, so for the devil, it was hard for me because like I kept picturing him as like Ian McShane because I couldn't help it because of Deadwood, but it's kind of like not that sexy. So then I would be like, but he would morph into the dude from North and South. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That WBC show.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
No.
Armitage?
Yes,
Yes.
that guy.
Yes.
That, because it kind of just very a little similar. So like that, he would be like sexy like that when he needed to be sexy. So that was for the devil, and then for Gabriel, it was the Eric Northman. That's
Oh,
Aaron Sorkin?
no, Aaron. Yes,
Gabriel was smart.
Aaron Sorkin, and they're just constantly walking down the prairie, talking really fast.
Wait, you didn't
Okay.
have to say Aaron Sorkin, did you?
No. Eric Northman
From True Blood.
Okay, yeah.
Character from True Blood. Who is Alexander Skarsgård.
Yes,
Oh
Skarsgård.
my God, Aaron Sorkin.
I know. It would be funny if them just on horses, just talking really fast. Just
Really fast.
Westworld. It's basically
That would be the weirdest Western ever. I almost want to write that just to like,
Me
what would
too.
Aaron Sorkin Western be like?
Aaron Sorkin Western.
I would watch the hell out of an Aaron Sorkin Western.
Mhm.
Are you kidding? That's awesome.
Yeah.
The quickest and the dead.
We had a lot of good, like Devil, Tom Waits, Ian McShane, Matthew McConaughey.
Back up.
Oh,
Tom
see?
Waits, really?
Yeah, Tom Waits would be fucking amazing. Are you kidding me? That's
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Whoa!
the
What?
devil.
What was you? Oh my God! The Tom Waits or the F word?
It's okay. No, we can say the F word. We can just do whatever we want now.
I thought we could do whatever we want.
We can do whatever we want.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're accountable to no one anymore.
Don't have the hammer of geek and sundry over my head anymore.
Sorry,
Veronica, like we're like Showtime now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like on
We all could
ballers.
be naked and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Anybody for Isabel? There was some really. I liked. Haley Steinfeld was great because of True Grit, of course. Jennifer
Yeah.
Lawrence was a really good one.
Oh, I
And
like
Chloe Grace Moretz was the one that I came
I
up
thought
with.
Chloe too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She's
would
not
go for-
brown haired.
Yeah, I would go for Chloe. Like it has to be young, right? Because she's in the book. She's
16.
young. She's not
She's
old.
16.
So, but how
Yeah.
old is Chloe now?
She's probably 20 or 22, but
Yeah.
still
it.
old.
Yeah.
She plays
Old as
young.
crap.
Yeah.
She's aged out of Hollywood now.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't know.
let's.
It's interesting because like when I think of young actors now, I'm trying to think of actually super young teenagers, and I can't think of any. I only know like the 20-year-olds. So
I don't watch any of those shows anymore. So.
Well, I watch CW, but even CW actors are old.
They're old.
Like, it's not, except for Felicia.
No, they are. I mean,
But I mean, the originals, all that is pretty much, they're in their 30s.
no, I got told by the agents don't pitch anything with teenagers because nobody makes any shows starring teenagers except for Shadowhunters, which is a really bad show I really like to watch. I'm sorry.
I mean, even Stitchers is still, I think they're late 20s, the Stitchers.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm trying to think of anything that's like super young, aside from reality shows, which are always going to be that way. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of scripted shows that, I mean, maybe Scream, MTV's Scream.
Yeah, there's some cool actors on there.
Yeah, there's some young actors on there, and maybe some Flash, but even Flash skews a little bit in their 20s. So it's hard to, like, I'm trying to stay, like, on point and know my teenage actors without looking like a perv. So I'm trying to figure out, like, who would play her, and I would think Chloe would be the closest to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Okay, last question, and then we're gonna wrap it up, guys.
Okay.
What if you had to live in an old west town? What job would you do?
Definitely, I'd be the bartender at the saloon.
Bartender?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a fun fact.
Just answer the question, Bonnie.
No. When I grew up in Kansas, my first job was the sarsaparilla girl at Boot Hill in downtown. I was the girl that like served root beer to the kids while their parents were drinking beer.
Sarsaparilla.
I
That's adorable.
Sarsaparilla girl. I would continue that trend and just be
I would want to be a veterinarian because I feel like you'd need to be a good veterinarian.
Well, you don't have any medicine back then. You'd have to kill so many animals.
Okay, I don't want to be a veterinarian. I'll be the sheriff.
Yes.
That sounds safe.
Oh no! I'm gonna manage the general store.
I don't know, Felicia. I think you need to up your game. I think you would be really good as like a Miss Kitty character.
I don't want to deal in because their peepees would all be dirty back then. Nobody washed down there, and they all had lice. So then I had to deal with vag lice and
You
stuff.
just be in charge of a bar. You don't have to like pimp everybody out.
All right, fine. Kyla, what are you gonna do?
Oh, I would be the social media manager.
Wait, back up. Like I want to see.
I would do their brand strategy.
For telegraphing and stuff like that?
Social media back then would be like you would be the person that would scream out, "Hey, there's about to be a duel."
Yeah, that would be my job. And like if I didn't do it before like somebody else did it, like then I lose my job or get.
Well, I back up. To the sarsaparilla girl, I think my job would be coffin builder.
Oh, that would be necessary.
Very lucrative. Very lucrative, yes. Because you don't really need a mortician, because everyone knows how you die. It's not like back then. You saw the murder. It was usually a high noon shootout. So I would make the artisanal coffins.
All right, beautiful. Other books that people recommended from the forum in this genre: 13th Child by Patricia Reed, Night Calls by Aliska Kimbriel, Native Star by M.K. Hobson, and Wake of the Vultures by Lila Bowen. So if you guys want to dive into alt, romance, history, westerns, those are a nice group. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up now. Bonnie, you want to tell everybody what we're reading next month?
We're reading Flesh.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, when we all pick books as hosts, we talk to each other. And I gave options. I gave a vampire story, a werewolf story. I gave, like, all these options. And the one option everyone honed in on was the post-apocalyptic zombie erotica book that has a three-way. So it's not just my fault. It's everyone in this group's fault that we're...
This is racy.
This is going to have sex. I'm going to tell you right now. There's not going to be, like, will they or won't they. I'm pretty sure 4 pages in we're going to have, like, group sex. So I'm just saying, you're welcome and I'm sorry.
So if you if you are not want to read erotica, we have a really good alt book by Mel Jean Brooks that the forum picked. So check the website, goodreads.com/vaginalfantasy. Join a local group, create one yourself, and just interact on the forums because we have a great community. All right. We'll see you guys on, we're going to have our hangout on July 5th because my birthday is June 28th, and I'm not going to do Vaginal Fantasy on my birthday, even though I love all of you. So,
Zombie three-way!
Oh my God,
I
Veronica.
have to back up. Wait a minute. Before everyone's like, I'm not reading that. It's not the zombies having sex.
You don't know that. You
It's-
don't know. You haven't read it yet. You don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
Don't you crush my dreams.
I don't know. It's not me.
Ew. You want, like, dead people do it, like limbs falling off while they're having an orgy?
Okay.
Whatever. Take some
Fine.
kinds.
Fine, it's a zombie free-for-all. Go for it.
All right. Guys, check that. You can find a link to the book on the forums, goodreads.com/vaginalfantasy. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.